Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so your friends see it. Thank you.
FBI refuses to release docs about secret Comey-Obama meeting, says America doesn't need to know. The FBI states it will not expedite the release of documents about secret meetings between FBI Director James Comey and former President Barack Obama, according to a letter the Bureau sent to the Daily Caller News Foundation. Such information is not a matter of widespread and exceptional media interest in which there exists possible questions about the government's integrity which affects public confidence, David Hardy, the section chief for the Bureau's Record, Information Dissemination Section, told the DCNF in a February 26 letter. The DCNF, under the Freedom of Information Act, requested records of all meetings between Comey and Obama and sought an expedited process as provided under the Act when issues are of great interest to the media and the records address issues pertaining to government integrity. The DCNF FOIA request was filed February 16, 2018. The issue prompting the FOIA request was the disclosure Comey held a secret Oval Office meeting with Obama on January 5, 2017. Comey never divulged the meeting to Congress. Susan Rice, Obama's national security advisor, former Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, and former Vice President Joe Biden also attended the meeting. The National Archives revealed the existence of the meeting and released a declassified version of an email Rice sent to the Senate Committee on the Judiciary. Rice wrote an email to herself about the secret January 5 meeting with Comey on Inauguration Day January 20, 2017, as President Donald Trump was being sworn into office. The email suggested Comey may have misled Congress and was attempting to cover up the extent of his relationship with Obama. Christopher Bedford, the DCNF's editor-in-chief, called the FBI denial shameful. The FBI just told us that Director James Comey potentially lying to Congress should not be of interest to us, that it doesn't speak to their integrity, and that it shouldn't impact America's confidence in them, Bedford said. They said this with a straight face. We disagree, we think the American people disagree, and we think it's absolutely shameful. Republican Senators Chuck Grassley, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee and Subcommittee chairman, and Lindsey Graham released the Rice email after they received it from the National Archives. President Obama had a brief follow-on conversation with FBI Director Comey and Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates in the Oval Office, Rice stated in the email on January 5. The president urged Comey to proceed by the book on the Russian investigation, according to Rice. Grassley of Iowa and Graham of South Carolina wrote to Rice in a February 8 letter saying the email seemed odd to them. It strikes us as odd that, among your activities in the final moments on the final day of the Obama administration, you would feel the need to send yourself such an unusual email purporting to document a conversation involving President Obama, the two wrote. Despite your claim that President Obama repeatedly told Mr. Comey to proceed by the book, substantial questions have arisen about whether officials at the FBI, as well as at the Justice Department and the State Department, actually did proceed by the book, the two senators continued. Comey claimed in June 8, 2017, testimony before the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence he had only two face-to-face meetings with the president in which they were alone. I spoke alone with President Obama twice in person, and never on the phone, once in 2015 to discuss law enforcement policy issues and a second time, briefly, for him to say goodbye in late 2016, Comey's opening statement read. The qualifier that he had meetings with Obama alone permitted the former director to suggest he only met with the former president on two occasions. The DCNF filed its FOIA request before the Bureau seeking records that identify and describe all meetings between former FBI Director James Comey and President Barack Obama. This records request is for all meetings with Obama alone or with meetings with the president in the company of other administration officials. The DCNF requested records to include all Comey logs, director appointment schedules, emails and memos outlining the meetings with the former president along with administration officials, adding, "The records should list the date of the meeting, location, topic and meeting participants." The DCNF stated it sought an expedited request for producing the records. The issue of Director Comey's meetings with President Obama is a key troubling issue for Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley, the DCNF wrote in its application for the expedited processing. The DCNF attached a Grassley-Graham letter to Rice in the FOIA request for expediting handling. Hardy said the DCNF failed to meet its standards for expedited processing as provided under 28 CFR 16.5, E14. "You have not provided enough information concerning the statutory requirements permitting expedition, therefore your request is denied," he told the DCNF. After weeks of silence, Marco Rubio makes stunning prediction that has Americans worried. President Donald Trump has promised to make America great again. Despite vicious resistance from liberals, established conservatives, and the media, he is making good on his promise. He has recently backed a law that is much needed in our country. One that will ensure our strength and stability for years to come. Yet even members of his own party seem to be against it, before it can even be voted on. From Breitbart. Senator Marco Rubio, RFL, predicts that a bill aimed at reducing illegal immigration endorsed by President Trump will not gain enough votes to pass the Senate. "That bill's not going to pass. I think the White House knows that you don't have 60 votes for that in the Senate," Rubio told CBS Miami. The system prioritizes prospective legal immigrants with sought-after skills, education, or English language proficiency and would curb the number of green cards issued each year. Despite Trump's promise to reform immigration and polls that show public support for a merit-based immigration system, the measure needs 60 votes to pass the Senate without a filibuster. Rubio was part of the Gang of Eight, a group of 8 senators who pushed for legislation that would provide amnesty for illegal aliens in 2013 without a clear timeline of when immigration laws would start to be enforced. For a while now, President Trump has spoken about the need to switch to a 51-vote system in the Senate. This bill might be the tipping point to make that happen. It's clear that Democrats refuse to work with the president on anything. This group of bitter losers will drag the country into ruin, if given the chance. The only hope for our country is if loyal conservatives in the Senate work with the president, not resist him. But that remains to be seen. The best thing going for the president and this bill is the overwhelming support from voters. Much like in the case of repealing Obamacare, if the Senate fails to pass, they're the ones in danger. Re-elections are coming up soon. Trump is making good on his word. But many senators, including Republicans, are not. If they cannot pass the RAISE Act, well, a bunch of them might not have jobs come 2018. Sessions just dropped sledgehammer on immigrants, you'll agree with him 100%. Protecting our country comes in numerous structures. President Trump wants to construct a wall to keep illegals from entering the nation. Be that as it may, shouldn't something be said about individuals who look for lawful status? Immigrants going through the citizenship procedure are held up to cold scrutiny. In light of current circumstances, we don't offer citizenship to criminals or anybody saw as perilous. For what reason would it be a good idea for us to? The security of Americans is in question. Be that as it may, it would seem that a modest bunch of new nationals deceived the government about their past. It has Sessions seething distraught. Via Western Journal. The Department of Justice announced Thursday it is seeking to strip U.S. citizenship from 5 naturalized immigrants who lied about their histories of criminal sexual abuse during the naturalization process. The individuals willfully concealed child sexual abuse crimes they'd committed prior to naturalizing, according to the federal court's civil complaints. Those who wish to become American citizens ought to respect our laws and seek citizenship lawfully and honestly, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said in a statement. The 5 defendants, Ricardo de Leon, 32, Christian Orbello Aguilos, 40, Carlos Noe Gallegos, 41, Alvin Farouk Garaiba, 51, Moises Javier Lopez, 42, all lied about their criminal histories on application forms and during in-person interviews with immigration officials, according to DOJ. In each case, the defendants plead guilty to at least one state charge of sexual abuse of a minor before applying for citizenship. Better believe it, that is quite terrible. I can't envision anybody inside government willing to give sentenced molesters citizenship. All things considered, possibly a couple of Democrats. It was exceptionally improbable that these individuals, who confessed to such wrongdoings, would have gotten citizenship. So they lied about it. Possibly, in the event that they had been straightforward, the government could have made sure that they were allowed citizenship. Maybe in the years since their conviction, they ended up being well behaved. Individuals can change, all things considered. It would have been a long shot, given the laws, however, you never know. Nonetheless, the way that they lied raises various warnings. What else may they lie about? Have they carried out comparative wrongdoings from that point forward, however, have insinuated experts? Possibly they are accomplishing something other than attacking minors. We don't have the foggiest idea. Also, the way that they lied exacerbates the situation. Sessions have each right to revoke the citizenship of these individuals. In all likelihood, they ought to have been deported for their wrongdoings. The way that they earn citizenship is stunning. What number of more like them are out there? What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. HT Western Journal